Hey guys, it's Will here. I wanted to talk a little bit about my cryptocurrency strategy. It's quite an emotional ride and you're learning a lot. There's lots of things to look into and different approaches and you know, your mindset can change depending on what you're reading and looking into and what happens with the markets. But in the cryptocurrency world, we have Bitcoin, which is the original cryptocurrency. And then we have different things happening. We have people forking Bitcoin. So you have Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Cash. You have Litecoin, which is a modification of Bitcoin, where they made some changes to it. Um, and then you have Ethereum, which allowed some code to be written in the blockchain. Um, Turing complete, it's called, and the language is Solidity. And then you have a lot of ICOs that are initial coin offerings built off of Ethereum. So you could sort of think of Bitcoin and Ethereum as the two main ones, and then a lot of other ones. And that's not the whole picture, but there's so many altcoins and there's little communities. They have a purpose to them. Some around supply chain, some around law, smart contracts. You have security, some that are more anonymous, privacy. There's ones around marijuana. So there's a perception sometimes when you look at a altcoin that it's cheaper and it's more affordable than Bitcoin, which is up to 17 um, or so $1,000. Um, and so you have to think about what you're trying to do, and if you're looking at the altcoins purely based on price, it might not be the best way to base your decision on. So what I had originally was I used eToro because I didn't want to get into the keys and all that risk at this time. So what I did was I bought a crypto copy fund, which had originally 6 cryptocurrencies, and then they added Bitcoin Cash recently. So there's 7 cryptos in that fund, and it's a easy way to get into the market. And I also had 2 copy funds called Global ETF and a tech fund. So I wanted to get into tech because I had never really purchased a lot of tech before. Amazon, Facebook, Alibaba, Google, and stuff like that. And then the global ETF is all sorts of emerging markets: Japan, Russia, Brazil, Europe, and China, stuff like that. But with the cryptocurrency craze, it's just so exciting, and I feel it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I thought about the fund versus trying to get some of the alternate coins on these other exchanges, which would require me to buy Bitcoin as on an exchange and then move it over to some of these altcoins. But I saw this interesting video that was saying that um, when you look at your returns on a particular altcoin, you should compare it to the return you could have got on Bitcoin. Now, short term, you might beat the return on Bitcoin, but the guy kind of paralleled it to the S&P 500 in the sense that it's like the benchmark. And if you make a certain return with your stocks, you have to compare them to what you could have made with the S&P, because a lot of times you're not going to do as good. And you might in the short term beat the benchmark, which is Bitcoin, but over a period of time, like a year, 2, 3, it could be difficult to beat the benchmark. So when I thought about that, and then other people that are really respected are saying Bitcoin could go to 500,000 or a million, I started thinking, why bother investing in these other ones? Even though you might short term make a good gain, are they really going to last? Are they going to be successful, and are they actually in production? Are they live being used? Some of the altcoins are actually being used right now. But sometimes in a limited sense. So, anyways, to summarize, my main point is that I sort of thought that Bitcoin is the original and the big one and the one that's getting amazing returns. And I'm going to focus on that. So what I did was I sold my two funds, the global and the tech fund, and I bought Bitcoin. I also took the winnings. I had bought a $5,000 copy fund for crypto. I made 7,000 or so on that, or somewhere around there. I sold that. It was about 130 something percent return. I moved that over to Bitcoin. So I actually own a whole Bitcoin now. And then I've still got the copy fund at 5,000. So I repurchased it at the original price. So I do have a little bit of diversification there, but most of the money is in Bitcoin, and I'm going to probably put more in. I'm going to probably buy when it goes down. But there could be major drops in not just the altcoins, but in Bitcoin. It could drop a huge amount. It's dropped in the past when it was earlier on 80% of its original value. So we could see, 50% or more correction. And it's going to make people very upset and emotional. And I'm really hoping that I can stay the course. There's probably going to be a lot of negative news. People are blaming it for giving money to ISIS and criminal activity, and it's going to hurt the markets and stuff. But I'm hoping that if there are dips that I'm going to buy, just like the market, the stock market, if it goes down, you want to buy if you have money available on the dips because you know it's going to come back. So it's a very volatile and risky area to be in. So obviously you don't want to put all your money into cryptocurrencies. I probably have 5% and I may put more just because I think this is different than just some stock that you want to get. This is a major development in technology. That's the other thing I want to just quickly mention is that people are really looking at is it a bubble? What's the price? Is it too high? What I'm looking at is the technology. Whether it's Bitcoin that wins or not, I believe it's the blockchain, the decentralization, um, is the main concept. If you look at currencies, there's trillions of dollars in fiat currencies like the US, Canadian, Euro, all these other currencies. So there's a lot of money in currencies. If this thing starts to become the currency, uh, and as it stabilizes, people may use it more as a currency. Um, you're not going to really think about it in terms of converting it back to a US dollar. You're just going to have this Bitcoin that you're going to be able to buy things with. And if you don't have any Bitcoin in the future, you will have to buy it with your fiat currency, which may have inflated quite a bit, or may be worth a lot less with all the printing and government debt. So um, you want to buy some so that you have it for future use. The other thing with Bitcoin is that right now, from my understanding, I'm still learning a lot, but when you go to these exchanges, you basically buy Bitcoin and then you move it to one of these other exchanges that offer like these altcoins. So if you want to buy a lot of the altcoins, you usually need Bitcoin and convert it. So Bitcoin is kind of that intermediary. There are some problems with Bitcoin right now. It's slow. There's a lot of transactions that are piling up. But there are technologies like Lightning Network, I guess, and other features, privacy features. So some of the altcoins that offer security and anonymity are potentially going to be added and planned to be, a lot of these features hopefully will be added to Bitcoin. So it's slower to adopt these things, but hopefully they will eventually be adopted. So I'm I'm kind of betting on Bitcoin. It also makes life a lot simpler where you don't have to we worry too much about all the alternative coins. As much as I enjoy this, there's only so much time that you can put into it. And when you look at an altcoin, you have to consider, you know, are they developing it regularly, adding to the code? Is it being used anywhere? What's the development team like? What's the management team like? And these things are complicate things to really try to evaluate a coin. I mean, there's lots of cool ideas out there, but when you look into them deeper to figure out if they're being used or not. And anyways, so my just to summarize, my new philosophy is to um, focus on Bitcoin mostly and ride the wave there and not put too much into the alternate coins. But if you have, if you wanted to do something similar, put 5% or whatever into these altcoins, that would be an interesting and fun way to play with it. Just like you did that with 5% of your total investments into this crypto. And then within that, put a small percentage into the altcoin so that you can sort of learn about them and have some skin in the game. But I'm going big on Bitcoin for now. And it's going to be tricky if it drops a lot. You know, you're going to be tempted to look at alternate coins, and but I still like to play a little bit with the other ones. I want to learn more about the other ones and the technology, so it's a big learning curve. But we're just getting started here. It's not too late. Just like the internet, there were companies that most of them failed early on, but then new ones emerged, Amazon, Facebook, that came out of the ashes. So there's going to be new companies coming along and new things that are going to be appearing, and you'll be able to get involved in them. So don't worry if you think it's too late. I think there's going to be lots of opportunities. All right, guys. Hope that helps. See you later.